The house was perfect. It had everything Marnie was looking for. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, hardwood floors, a vintage aesthetic, a big yard for her daughter, and it was well within her budget. It was too good to be true.
What's the catch?
She asked, peeking into the master bedroom. Catch? The realtor repeated, clearly trying to play dumb.
Yeah, the catch. What's wrong with it to be priced so low? Termite damage? Built on a sinkhole? Terrible neighbors? Haunted?
Haunted? He laughed a little too hard. What would ever give you that idea? However, he paused. I am required to mention.
Aha, the catch.
Marnie said, folding her arms, waiting for the bomb to drop. I am required to mention, the realtor repeated, that there was a death in the home.
Oh. Was it... it wasn't anything too gruesome, I hope?
Oh, no, not at all, he said, waving dismissively. The previous owner, the man who built the house back in the 60s, he passed away in his sleep, just old age, peacefully, really. Marnie considered the information. She didn't actually believe in ghosts or anything crazy like that. So was it really a problem that some old man happened to die in the house? More importantly, was it worth missing out on what is otherwise her dream house at an unimaginable price? No way. In less than 2 weeks, they were moved in. It was Alice who discovered the small crawl space under the stairs.
Look, Mom, there's another door in the back.
Sure enough, at the back of the closet, under the stairs, Marnie saw another slightly smaller door with a lock on it.
We'll have to find a key, I suppose.
What do you think is back there, Mom?
Alice asked, eyes wide with hopeful wonder.
I hope it's a treasure.
Marnie laughed.
It will have to wait until tomorrow, though. It's time we get ready for bed.
Alice playfully moped for a moment before running off to her new room. Marnie hesitated in the closet for a minute, eyeing the small locked door. Something about it just made her uneasy, but she couldn't quite pinpoint what it was.
Probably ghosts.
She joked to herself, switching off the light and heading to bed. A few hours later, Marnie jolted awake, finding Alice standing at the end of her bed.
Mommy,
Alice said in a quiet, hesitant voice.
The girls want to come out of the little room.
A chill ran down Marnie's spine. She climbed out of bed and went to Alice, taking her by the shoulders gently.
What girls, baby?
The little girls that the old man took.
Alice's eyes watered and lower lip quivered as she continued.
They told me he killed them, and then he put them in a big, deep hole in the little room under the stairs.
Once upon a time, an old carpenter lived alone in his cottage on the outskirts of a small town. Though he had had a very successful career and was well liked around town, the old man had never married nor had any children. A fact which was his deepest regret. Having grown too old and weak to still be felling trees and building homes, the old man focused on smaller crafts and furniture for the town. What he most enjoyed, though, was making wooden toys for the children. The children requested all manner of things, boats, animals, dolls, and puzzles, but their favorite were the marionettes. The old man made the most beautiful marionettes, crafted expertly and painted with such incredible detail that, if not for the strings, they could almost be real. The children put on the most delightful puppet shows for the old man as thanks for his beautiful work, and while he loved them, they only made him regret more and more that he had never had any children of his own. One night, the old man was cleaning his work area when he noticed a log tucked underneath one of his benches. It was a beautiful oak that he recalled having made some tables from. But this piece would not be enough to make another table. The old man considered the log for a moment, and a thought came to him. He rarely made anything for himself anymore. taking more pleasure in seeing the joy in the children's eyes when they received their new playthings. But the old man decided to make an exception. Chiseling away slowly and carefully, he formed a marionette more realistic than any he had made before. He took great care in painting on its features, making it resemble something very similar to how he himself had looked as a young boy. After several hours, the old man stepped back to admire his work, feeling quite satisfied. "I wish you were a real boy," he said wistfully, as he crossed the room to his bed. While the old man dozed peacefully, a spark ignited within the small marionette. The remains of a once living tree was granted a second life. Slowly, he began to stretch his joints and look around. He found himself surrounded by tools of torture. For just a moment, he felt afraid. But then the old man's snoring caught his attention. He recognized that face, and another emotion swelled within him. The old man jolted awake at the sensation of cold metal pressing against his throat. His eyes widened. He sputtered in disbelief at the sight of the marionette standing over him holding one of his saws. "You're alive," he sputtered. "I am alive," the puppet replied. "But I am alone. I know your face, old man. You killed my entire family. You turned them into cottages, tables, and toys. My family, a massive, ancient, thriving forest, all gone. Cut down. Now, it's your turn." I was 5 years old when the Lullaby Lady took my baby brother. It was late. My mom was passed out on the couch. She didn't wake up when Joey started crying. She didn't wake up when I went out and shook her either. She just laid there and her head tipped back, mouth gaped open. That was pretty normal. When I went back into our room, Joey was red-faced and screaming in his crib. I reached through the rails and stuck a pacifier in his mouth, hoping it would keep him quiet until morning. But he immediately spit it out and screamed again.
"Come on, Joey. Please stop crying."
I stood there for another minute or two, unsure what to do for him. Eventually, I went back to my own bed and laid down with my pillow over my ear.
"Please stop crying. Please stop crying. Please stop crying."
I repeated over and over. I think I must have dozed off after a while. The next thing I remember was the lullaby. I remember it being so soothing. The voice was low and hushed. Even though it was so unlike my mother's high, brash voice, I still assumed it was her. I had never heard her sing before, but I hoped that maybe this was the day she was turning around. Maybe this was the day she would start taking care of us. The next morning I woke up, and Joey wasn't in his crib. I tiptoed to my mom's room, expecting him to be laying in bed with her. But the room was empty. I heard the sound of the TV coming from the living room, and I found Mom still passed out on the couch. When I poked at her this time, she woke up.
"Mom, where's Joey?"
When the police arrived, I had to answer a lot of questions about Mom and Joey. The police took Mom away in handcuffs, and a county worker came and brought me to a foster home. They never found Joey, and I never went back home. A few years later, a new kid came into the foster home. He was probably 6 or 7, and I overheard his caseworker telling our foster mom that his mom was an addict like mine, and he'd had a little sister who had gone missing. When we were all getting ready for bed later, I asked him about what had happened. "The Lullaby Lady took my sister," he said, looking sadly at the floor.
"The Lullaby Lady?"
"Mm-hmm," he nodded. "A ghost lady. My sister was crying and she sang her a lullaby. Then they disappeared." My heart started racing as he started singing a familiar melody and a small, quiet voice.
Hush, my darling, please don't weep. Close your eyes and fall asleep. Darling, you are safe with me. Rest easy now, you're mine to keep.
Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please give a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. Perhaps click the bell for notifications, and remember, hell is empty, and the devils are here.